Good morning, everybody. It is 9:40 in the morning Eastern time, and I never, ever do any kind of webinar or live feed at 9:40 in the morning. Still having coffee number 4. However, I've had so many requests. You guys know this past year, I had this really bright high school student that had been working with us here. And what was neat is a lot of the stuff he's doing is out of the box. It's unorthodox. And the best part about it is it's very, very raw, very real. But he's only here from 8 to 10 a.m. in the morning. So there's only so many times that I could get him to join us or to attend anything. And I had a few people that were here at our Instant Reply Live event that had met him, and they're like, oh, you should do a video or share something. So what I wanted to do is a quick little introduction, let you guys meet Brandon, and I'm going to bring him back. He's quote unquote backstage, if you will, and I'll bring him back. And if you guys want to fire off any questions in the chat, Ryan, there's only like 15 people here, so it's pretty small, at least right now. I'd love to ask them, but I only have a few minutes, and I'll tell you why in a second. Let me see. I'm going to add him. Let's see.
Hello?
Brandon, let's hear your audio. Are you there?
Yeah.
Brandon, I do not hear your audio. Check audio. Can you guys hear Brandon, David, or Ryan, or Mona? Anybody? All right. Brandon, how about now?
I can hear you.
Yes. Yes.
Can everyone else hear?
Yeah. They could hear you, Brandon. All right.
Okay.
I'll cut off the beginning for everybody else. You guys got to see the reality of what David Kavanaugh knows all too well. Nothing ever goes according to plan. So I know Mona and Rico are here. They've met Brandon, David Perkins. There's no way David Perkins is here because it's 6:45 in the morning. I am not. David, I'm going to have to grow it back in your honor. All right, so let me do this, you guys. So Brandon is, I want to say 16, Brandon, but you had the secret birthday like a week ago, right? And you turned 17.
Now I'm 17.
So, hey, tell them a little bit about yourself. This is less about me, you guys. This is about introducing other people that are crushing it. And I think you'll love what he's doing, and we'll do more, but this is an introduction more than anything.
So about probably a year ago, I started out and I was kind of building these money sites.
Wait a minute. How old are you? They all want to know how old you are.
Okay, so yeah, how old was I? I think I was 15 at this time because it was back
when you were young.
December.
Back when you were a young guy.
Yeah. So I was 15 and I was building these money sites, and essentially I kind of got one to start working. And
welcome to Australia. Wow. Right there. Thailand, Australia.
Yeah. So I got one working and starting to get traffic, and I'm like, whoa. I was on a cruise at that point, and we got to port, and like right in the middle, I go on my phone and I check how much I earned, and I earned like $50 in a day. I'm like, whoa, like I've never been able to make this type of money before. I was only like 15. And so what I did was, I'm like, what if I could create like 10 of these, right? Then, well, obviously I could probably make like 500 a day. But the question was the way that I was doing it predictable enough to make that much money. And so what happened was back probably July of last year, I figured out how to scale it to almost hundreds of sites that we were running. Although we started out with like 50. And we were essentially copy and pasting these sites over and over again. And every single time we created them, they would eventually grow and gain enough traffic. We just had to wait like a few weeks, and then we would start making $10 a day on each of them. Okay, so I just did that over and over again.
All right. I know a little bit more than everybody on the call, other than Mona and Rico, about what you're doing. So, So you started making okay. So you're in 11th grade, but back when you were really young, like 9th grade.
Yeah.
9th grade or earlier?
10th grade.
10th grade. All right. So back in the old days, in 10th grade, you were probably bored at school, and you're like, how can I make money? How'd you get started? Did you like to do this strategy that you're doing? Did you Google? Were you on YouTube? Were you on a certain website? Where'd you go that first got you fired up?
Yeah. So I kind of started on forums. I was going to school, and essentially I was like, the amount of, when we got into high school, is like the amount of work that we had to do. And I'm like, why am I even doing this crap? Like, I was just kind of sick of it. I was looking up stuff about like how school sucks, like how it's useless all the time. And so I kind of just got sick of it. So what I did was kind of figured out about internet marketing through YouTube. And so I was watching YouTube videos, and I'm like, wow, this is like crazy.
Wait a minute. So for everybody here, I believe you told me some of them. I want to say you mentioned Mario Brown, Becker. Who else did you tell me?
Yeah, Alex Becker was the big one.
Alex Becker.
Yeah.
Who else? You mentioned Onik, Singal. Who else were you seeing video and content from?
Alex Becker was probably the big one.
Okay.
That's kind of Yeah, and I was on a few forums as well,
Okay.
like Warrior Forum, Black Hat World, a few of those internet marketing
So
forums.
is your background more, would you say you're more technical or more marketing? Are you, or I know you're a little bit of both for sure, but if I remember, you're doing some development, some programming also.
Yeah, so I kind of got good at the programming part of it, but what happened was I was kind of like the kid who like screwed around with like technology and stuff and like hacked stuff and whatnot. So I was spending most of my time doing that type of stuff, but then I'm like, you know what, this doesn't really make money. And like it's cool, but at the end of the day, the winners are the people who are making the money. And so I kind of moved more into internet marketing. I kind of started out with sort of like e-com. And so I wasn't really successful with that, but I just kept going with it. And eventually I stumbled on something that was actually ended up making money. And that for me was building these websites.
Okay, so you said a second ago, you guys, this is the oldest thing on the internet with the twist. So you'd build a website and it'd be like, call it a blog site. Is that fair to call it?
Yeah.
So a blog site in WordPress, you'd build a site and you'd write some content or get some content, and then you would put ads, right? Is that you put ads on your sites?
Exactly. So that's sort of the model, except, you know, the difference is as far as the content goes, we weren't, you know, writing a ton of content. So we didn't have to worry about that. It was more about getting the traffic, because the content, we pretty much had millions of articles we could use. And so because of the way that content is sort of licensed, we were able to put a ton of content on our websites without doing much work at all. But the big thing was, how could we get the traffic? And so we were using social media, was Pinterest actually, to get the traffic to our website, and we could essentially get it over and over again. And yeah, we were using AdSense and a few other ad network type things in order to actually monetize. Essentially, whenever anyone would click on it, we knew that we would make like a few cents off every click, but then we could easily get a few thousand clicks, and we knew those thousands of clicks would actually make a good chunk of money off of it.
Okay, so yeah, so you'd make a site. I mean, I know that's what I want to know, and that's what they want to know. On any one site, like how much do you make in a month? Let's do it in a month.
Mhm.
Maybe in the first couple months. Like, talk about, you know, do you make $10, $5 the first month? Do you make 100? You know, on one site, you make 1,000. You know, how'd that work out?
Yeah, so like you can pretty much predictably get it over the $200, $300 a month mark, predictably. But one site that does well will go over to, I mean, some of our sites, we essentially were able to use this formula that would get us viral pins over and over again. And so essentially we knew that after one pin, we could essentially get a huge surge in traffic. So
Okay,
like
wait a minute.
our biggest sites.
You brought in pins. Does that mean you
Yeah.
might have been using Pinterest?
Yeah. So we were
Okay.
using Pinterest actually, yeah. And like some of our pins, which is just essentially a post, right? Most successful ones, once you get one of them, you're making a ton of money. And one of these pins would essentially bring in like thousands of dollars. Like, for example, one of them brought in 80,000 page views, and which is essentially a click, in 2 days. Our most successful pin, which
So,
is
okay.
incredible.
You guys, hey, Brandon, okay, it's 9:53 here on the East Coast. What time do you have to be at high school before they get really mad at you?
10:19. If I'm not there by, yeah, it's a very exact time.
Yeah. Welcome to high school, guys. So he's got to be there by 10:19. So I got about 6 to 8 minutes before I got to let him go, so he has enough time to get over there. I want to grill him, and we'll have him come back. This was an introduction. We had the audio issue. So Brandon, over the first 6 to 12 months, what was the best you were able to do with one website?
So one website, I would say 3,000 in a month.
3,000 in a month?
Yeah, but it was power in the numbers. So if we launched 10 of them, we
Wow.
would pretty much be making 10,000.
So yeah, so 10 websites got you to 10,000. What was your peak? You're in 11th grade. It's what? It's March of your 11th grade year. School ends in May. So
Yeah.
you're a little over halfway through 11th grade. What was your record month since the beginning of 10th grade, regardless of how many websites you threw up? I don't care if you had 5, 10, or 20 or 40. It doesn't matter.
It was a little over 40,000.
Okay. So guys,
Yeah.
so imagine this. So I meet Brandon. He's working on a science project. I can tell he was super smart. I really liked him, you know, pretty direct kind of guy. And then he goes, oh, by the way, I also do this other thing. And then I'm like, oh, tell me about it, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I like that. That's really slick. Brandon, how many email addresses do you have that you email? Is there a lot of people on your list?
I don't have a list.
Okay, so all right, I'm going to dispel all the rumors right now because I want you guys to be able to feel the power of what he's talking about. So you don't have any list at all. You have
Mm-mm.
none. And are you selling some kind of product at all? Do you sell them a product?
No.
Okay. So you have no list, you have no product. You do have a website. No list, no product, but you have a website. We mentioned Pinterest. How many people? Are you talking to a lot of people? You're getting on the phone with them in the afternoon after school. How are you?
Nope. And no client,
talking to
nothing like
anybody.
that.
Okay, so you're not talking to anybody. You have no email list. How many affiliates are out there sending you business?
0.
0 affiliates. All right, so you're in 11th
Badly.
grade. Let me sum it up for everybody. You're in 11th grade. It's been a year and a half, roughly 2-year journey. You've got no product, no email list, no affiliates. You do have some WordPress sites. How much does it cost to install a WordPress site?
It's about $5-10.
Okay, so $5 a site, you guys. So $5-10. We'll call it $10. You need a hosting account. You need some domain names. You need a WordPress site. I want to give Rico a shout out. Rico said Brandon's the man. Alan said you make money from the ads, period. And that's where we were getting, Alan. So right now, Brandon, the only money you're making, I say only because I don't want to detract from how amazing it is. The money you're making is all from advertisers that pay you, like AdSense, as an example that you told Ryan earlier, and they pay you money. Is it daily, weekly, monthly? When do they pay you?
It depends. So usually at the end of the month, most of them. But we do use a little bit of affiliate marketing too, just to get a little bit more sales. But most money is from ads.
So by most, like 50% or more like 75, 80%?
Yeah, 75, 80.
So 80% of 40,000 is about 32,000. So at least 30,000-ish or a little more is only ads with no list, no product, no JVs, no nothing, no talking to anybody. And most of the time, did you do everything at your house, in your room or your kitchen or whatever? Something at home,
Yeah.
your basement.
I had no office,
No
nothing
office.
like that.
Yeah, no team. Ryan is from Holland, I believe. Ryan said, is all the traffic or the majority of the traffic, would you say it's from Pinterest? If not, is it just other social media?
We essentially mastered the viral traffic from Pinterest. So, I mean, look, any social media, you can make a ton of money, but Pinterest is probably the easiest leverage point just of how it works, how the algorithm works. So yes, all the Pinterest or all the traffic comes from Pinterest, but I mean, by using that, it gives us amazing leverage to pretty much get traffic whenever we want.
Nice. And so we've got Pinterest, we've got a WordPress site, a domain name, some hosting. We probably all have those. Pinterest doesn't cost anything, right? It's free to get an account. It's like
we're not doing paid ads, nothing like that.
That's what I was gonna let that out. So no paid ads on any platform to get traffic.
Completely free organic traffic. Yeah.
Completely free organic traffic. I like that. And net, all the money, whether it's a lot or a little, comes from these ads. And obviously the most popular one that the average marketer would know would be AdSense, but there are other ones, right? There's dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of sites, ad networks, if you will, that would be willing to pay you to get their ads in front of your traffic, right?
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, there's dozens of good ad networks you can join that'll make you a ton of money just by putting. It's really just as simple like an embed. You just pretty much embed the ads to your site. But we kind of mastered which niches to choose with which ad networks kind of go together and always make money, because just based off the way that every time someone clicks, we make money.
I love it. Guys, I hate to tell you this. He's got to go to high school. So this was just an introduction. I thought we'd test out a little StreamYard action and kind of get the conversation started. Big shout out to Eddie. Listen, he's just turned 17 a few days ago. He's in 11th grade. He's about to have to go to school. What class do you have next? What's your first class?
I have U.S. history. We're talking about the Great Depression.
How fitting this week, right?
I know.
All right.
1920s.
Anybody who's here right now before I let him go? Anybody who's here? Any question? I'll ask him, but I only have
a couple minutes left.
Anybody has a question? I'm glad to tee it up.
Burning questions.
So what I will do though is it can only be in the morning. So for all the Australian and European guys, it's very good because he has to go to school basically right now. And I don't know if there's a lag on the questions, and there may be. So what we will do is explore a little bit more. And yeah, I love this one. Have a good time at class.
Thank you.
Brandon's like, yeah, maybe. No.
Have
So
a test.
super, super cool. When will he be back? Tomorrow at 8 a.m. He comes in at 8. I mostly come in at 7:15, 7:30, but we have this thing in our county now. The coronavirus has now made it to our county. We got a few cases, and we are, from a school system, we're building a strategy on how we're going to handle that so that we can continue operations. So I had to do that this morning. Yeah, what I was going to do is, if you guys are interested in hearing more, talking with Brandon, getting some cool feedback, I thought I'd have him back every now and then, and he's in the office in the mornings, and we can share different things and strategies and ideas. He can even show you some stuff. Now, the only reason I tell you is I want to make sure that's something you'd be interested in, because I had to twist his arm. I'm like, Brandon, it won't be a big deal. It'll be easy. So if you're interested, I will definitely get him to jump back on, and we'll spend time and we'll explore it. Hey, listen, Brandon, I know you got to go. I'm not going to, I don't want to be the guy that's making you late to school of all places. So thank you for jumping on live, and I'll see you in
no problem.
I'll follow up in Slack and catch up with you in a little bit on the PowerPoint. But
cool.
Anyway, yeah, Mona says do it again. And yeah, I'd love to, you guys. I think it's so cool. When I was a kid, I mowed yards. I got $5 in the front and $10 in the back. And I played around on Ravix term bulletin board systems. And I played a game called Ultima 7. It was this role-playing game online. I got to tell you, Ryan said interested. Guys, there's a lot of internet marketers out there. They sell you a lot of products, right? You know it and I know it. Look, I make money in local. I make money in affiliate. Thanks to Brandon. Brandon, how much money did I make last month? Can you share your screen? Do you have that picture? Or do you have it?
PowerPoint?
Yeah, well, just show that slide you made for me.
Yeah.
This is good, you guys. I'm very excited about this because I don't do this, but I do now thanks to Brandon. So
let me see. Share screen. I have a lot of stuff open.
Let me see. Do you see a button at the bottom center of your screen below the picture?
Yeah.
Of your screen? You guys got to see this. I'm not getting rich from this today, but you're going to love this. We'll show it to you.
Here we go. Okay.
Okay, I see it. Brandon, maximize that.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, ready? Here goes. I made $177. So $177, and I hardly ever used Pinterest. I didn't have anything like this, but we'll share it all. I'm gonna bring Brandon back on another day, and we'll just go live. Maybe we'll do a better job announcing it. And Brandon, you better bolt, dude. I don't want the high school getting mad at me.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So you guys, Brandon is a super, super great guy. He's, like I said, he's 17. And I don't do anything with blog sites, ads, content from Pinterest. However, I do now. So I'm super excited about that. For anybody here seeing this, if this is interesting to you, like Ryan said he was interested. I played Galaga more than Pac-Man, but I do like Pac-Man, more Centipede kind of guy back in the day. If it's interesting, I'll get him to come back on. I told him I find it to be fascinating, and it's no one site's going to make him 30 or 40K with his model. However, 500 to 2,000 for a site is pretty realistic for anybody. And it's not very hard. It's actually simplistic, really. The devil's in the details, just like you would expect, but it's super, super easy. Like I said, he's in 11th grade. He's in my son's class. They're friends. And I go, David, you know this guy, Brandon? I'm thinking about hiring him for an intern. And David's like, oh, yeah, Dad, he's really smart. You know, he's like good in calculus, physics, and computer science. I think he's one of those guys that's so smart, he's kind of disconnected at school because he's that kind of smart. Like, he's off the chain smart. And I was lucky to work with him. He was working on a science fair project around the blockchain. And yeah, Eddie, you should come over one morning and I'll get you on too, depending on your schedule. Eddie, you guys, Eddie is local and we're going to be doing some work together. And Eddie, this is so easy. We can do this for you too. So easy to do, guys. So it involves, and I won't steal his thunder, but it involves picking something you're passionate about. Let's say you like to eat. So something to do with food. You got to do things that are popular on Pinterest, right? So if you look around on Pinterest, all you're doing is getting people from Pinterest to come to your site. The more people who come to your site, you get paid because of the ads on your site. There's no emails, no products, no links. No links for your products, no talking to anybody, nothing. And one of the things I really, really wanted to do was to do this. I wanted to find a way to plug all this together. And, because I do a lot of things. I do affiliate marketing. I do a little bit of e-com, although it's not my fave, guys. I like what Brandon's doing with ad networks and content. I love it because it's pure internet marketing in its rawest form with no distractions, and anyone can do it. I mean, I have my trainer at the gym working on it in exchange for free training. And I have two of the team in our office. Like Eddie knows Meredith and Nikki. Some of you guys know Meredith and Nikki. They're just getting started working on it. And I have who else? I have a friend of my wife's who's a stay-at-home dad. His wife's a doctor. And I had him come by the office and we're teaching him some stuff. So I don't have all the answers, but I'm willing to tell you this. There's a lot of cool stuff, you guys, that people are making money with. And I've been fortunate and blessed to do pretty well myself. And when I bumped into Brandon, I knew he was very special. I knew the things he was doing were truly difference makers. There's a lot of guys that sell you stuff, which is a lot of rehash stuff. Brandon just walks the walk. So, and he doesn't know any better. He just does it. And I'm excited. I'll get him to come back on another day this week and I'll schedule it in advance so you know about it and that jazz. We can do something a little more concrete on the example. Probably have to start it around 9 Eastern to be realistic so we can have time to show and then talk and then end the call before he has to go to school.